Kidnappers have demanded a total ransom of N450m for the release of a traditional ruler, his son and other residents abducted in Ifelodun local government area of Kwara state. The abductors were seeking N150m for the release of the Oniwo of Aafin, Oba Simeon Olaonipekun, and his son, Olaolu, a serving member of the National Youth Service Corps, while an additional N300m was demanded for the release of 8 persons abducted in Adanla-Irese, a suburb of Igbaja. A relative of the monarch, who spoke with Saturday Punch on condition of anonymity, confirmed that the kidnappers made the demand on Friday. The kidnappers contacted the family this afternoon and told us to bring N150m to secure the release of Kabiesi and his son, the source said. He said the family had been traumatized since the abduction, which occurred on New Year's Eve. Since this incident happened, we have not been ourselves. We entered the new year with sorrow and tears. We are calling on the government and security agencies to come to our aid because we don't know what to do, he added. The coordinator of the Kwara South Joint Community Security Watch Network, Olaitan Oyin-Zubair, also confirmed the ransom demands. Yes, it is true. The bandits contacted the family this afternoon and demanded N150m for the release of Kabiesi and his son. Only 2 days ago, N300m was demanded for the release of the Adanla abductees, he said. The bandits had on Wednesday night invaded Aafin community in the Ile-Ire district of Ifelodun LGA, storming the monarch's palace around 8 p.m. A family source said about 8 armed men attacked the palace, shooting sporadically and demanding to see the monarch and his wife. When they noticed we were locking doors and switching off lights, they started shooting. They broke the door with their guns and forced their way in, the source said. During the attack, the monarch's wife, Felicia Olaonipekun, was shot in the arm and later taken to a hospital for treatment. The relative added that the attackers abducted the monarch and his son after overpowering the community vigilante group. Only 2 vigilante members were on duty and they could not match the firepower of the attackers, he said. Similarly, on December 26, 2025, suspected bandits invaded Adanla community, a suburb of Igbaja in the same Ifelodun LGA, and abducted 8 residents. Saturday Punch gathered that the attack occurred around 7 p.m., when the gunmen stormed the community in large numbers, shooting sporadically as they went from house to house, forcing residents into submission. However, the police public relations officer in the state, Adetoun Ejire-Adeyemi, said the command was not aware of any ransom demand by the abductors. We are not aware of any requests for ransom to free abducted persons in the state, she said. Ejire-Adeyemi added that the Commissioner of Police, Adekimi Ojo, had repeatedly warned that the payment of ransom encourages and emboldens criminal elements to intensify their activities. The PPRO stated that the police and other security agencies were working round the clock to rescue abducted persons and rid the state of criminal elements. Five-year-old girl among kidnapped Kwara monarch's family. Relative. Meanwhile, a 5-year-old girl was among 9 people kidnapped by bandits at the palace of Oba David Adetoun, the traditional ruler of Adanla-Irese community in Igbaja district, Saturday. Punch learnt. A relative of the victims, who spoke on condition of anonymity for security reasons, disclosed this to our correspondent on Friday. The relative said no fewer than 17 bandits invaded the monarch's palace on the 2025 Boxing Day, ransacked the palace before seizing valuable items and abducting 7 males and 2 females who were members of his family. According to the source, the royal father's family members were watching a Premier League match when the bandits attacked around 6:30 p.m. She said, the monarch was not around when the bandits invaded his palace. He went to Ile-Ire to get something. He came back to meet the sad news. When he returned to the palace, his 9 family members, including a 5-year-old girl, had been kidnapped by the bandits. The assailants started shooting sporadically to scare people, and they ransacked the whole palace. They came into the community without vehicles. They walked boldly into the palace, knowing what they wanted. Speaking further, the source said the bandits were asking for the king and the queen immediately they got to the palace, but became furious when they discovered he was not available. One of them appeared to be an insider because he was the one asking for the king and the queen. He was speaking both in Yoruba, Hausa, and Fulfud, but he didn't speak Yoruba fluently, she added. The coordinator of Kwara South Joint Community Security Watch Network said the bandits raided for 1 hour and left before military personnel and local vigilantes arrived. Though the bandits demanded N450m as a ransom for them to release the monarch's family, efforts are ongoing to rescue the kidnapping victims, Oyin-Zubair said. Meanwhile, another source said that Adanla, as a peaceful agrarian community, should be protected by the security operatives for family activities to continue in the area. The community is not only for farming. There are mineral resources which can attract investors, but if the people are not protected, it will adversely affect the state, the source added.